For years now, the Hobbywing Fusion 2-in-1 motor and ESC unit has been my go-to unit for almost all of my RC crawlers. But now Furitek has come out with an 2-in-1 outrunner motor and ESC combo. So in this video, I'm going to be crawling in my Red Cat Ascent Fusion with the 2-in-1 Hobbywing unit. I'm going to come back in, we're going to swap over to the Unity, and then compare head-to-head Fusion versus the Unity. What are the performance differences, any kind of spec feature differences, and which one is probably the better option for you? If you are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Troy. This is Roadside RC. You'll tend to find me bashing or crawling or drifting or racing, plus doing product review videos and how-tos. I have fresh 3S LiPo in it. Fusion that comes with this Red Cat Ascent Fusion is installed. Let's hit the rocks and give it a test. So of course we're not here testing the crawler itself. We're here to see what is the smoothness of the ESC, what is the punch, what is the power like. So low speed control and then coming back to the reverse, very smooth, not a jerky throttle. Easy torque to pull up in a situation like this and also be able to feel when the crawler is coming over. The control there is really good. These are all the reasons why I've always been a big fan of the Fusion. This right here, got to have good throttle modulation through here. Really be able to put the tires where you want. Focus on where you want everything. Well, not like that. There it goes. Opportunity for a top speed test. I've always been a fan. Hobbywing has that like progressive drag brake, so it's not just an immediate grab. I always appreciate that. It helps. Let's try that downhill modulation again. Very easy to modulate the throttle, very easy. This is what I'm looking for from a motor and ESC setup, right? Here, look at that. Super easy to control. And then the punch when I need it. One last punch test here. We get to come up. We need to be able to bounce up this hill, which means we need to come up and then we need to be able to have the power like that. Back from that quick test, and again, as expected, it's my go-to ESC motor and crawling for a reason. That Hobbywing Fusion just has great throttle modulation, great power, good wheel speed, everything that I typically need in a small package for any RC crawler. It just does it. Can it be better? Can it beat it? How does it compare? We have the old Hobbywing Fusion setup out. And here's, of course, one of the really important reasons why these 2-in-1 setups are so good. So here's the Hobbywing Fusion, 188 grams. The Unity, 100 on the dot. I think the paperwork claims 99. We'll give my scale, oh look at that, it actually just flipped. We'll give my scale a little bit of leeway for not being super precise. That's a big chunk off. So the next time my crawler has to crawl up a big hill, it has 100 less grams in kind of not an ideal place that it doesn't have to hold up. That is great. Lighter weight on your crawler, especially anything up or rearwards, is good. This is really good. But enough talking about it. We've calibrated the throttle, the truck's ready to go. Let's go give this a shot on those exact same obstacles. Try that reverse again. So I'm noticing the motor is more noisy than the Hobbywing was, which is not surprising with an outrunner, but it almost sounds like I might have got my gear mesh too tight. Throttle control again is really easy. Again, this area right here requires good throttle modulation. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Oh. Womp womp. There we go. I struggled a little more to get up. That might have been my poor driving. The ESC and motor, though, did great. Let's see a full throttle blast. Ooh, I think that might be faster than the Hobbywing was. Just by a little bit. Drag brake is nice and drag brake's very sudden. You see that there? Yep, drag brake's very sudden. I'll say that's one of the things that I like about the Hobbywing is it's got that progressive drag brake. It doesn't just hit all at once. But I do wonder if I fire up the app if I could reduce the intensity of the drag brake, and maybe that'll help that a little bit. I'm going to try this downhill here and see what the throttle control's like. Alright. Alright, again, let's look at this downhill control here. You can't see it. I don't know if you can see it in the camera or not, but I can see the motor just in there, just barely spinning away as it's controlling this downhill ascent. Oh, I've gotten all sideways on it. But yeah, look at the slow speed control of this motor. Slow speed. And now will it have the punch that I need here at the bottom so that I don't flip over? Let's see. And now here's an interesting one. This is a good place to come up and need a good punch. Let's crawl up here nice and slow. Straight up we go. We are back. We've now tested the truck with the Hobbywing system in it. We've tested the truck right back to back with the Furitek Unity system in it. So the Hobbywing system, throttle control, I'd say between the two of them, maybe almost the same. I didn't have any situations where going to reverse, it seemed like it was too jerky or too powerful. So overall, forward to reverse throttle control between the two, I'd say pretty much on par. When it comes to total wheel speed, total power, both of these 1800 kV motors, but for some reason, the Furitek sure seemed like it was faster at least. We know there's a little bit of variation in these things. They're never dead on the numbers. There must be some little bit of difference because it certainly at least felt like the Furitek had more total wheel speed. Total low speed throttle control, I'm going to say the Furitek's probably slightly better. Usually the outrunners just typically are more torque at a very low RPM versus a can like this. But again, I've never had an issue with the Hobbywing, and so I'll score the Furitek maybe as winning in that category category, but almost doesn't really matter. When it comes to some stuff that I think is a little bit more important, the Hobbywing systems are usually 3S limited, not able to run on 4S, whereas the Furitek is 4S capable. So that is a big win in its column. I actually don't normally, for what I do, ever run 4S, but I know there's a lot of people out there that really enjoy it. On the flip side, something that might be just an absolute showstopper for you is the sealed cans are waterproof. IP67 waterproof. I have submerged them before. I don't know if they're technically supposed to be submerged or not, but I have submerged them before. I've driven them all around, done all sorts of crazy stuff with a Hobbywing motor, and they've always come back asking for more. So that is a positive. If you're going to be doing trail runs, if you expect to be getting very wet, all that kind of stuff, maybe the sealed can really is much more important for you, because the outrunner motors typically not waterproof, not friendly when it comes to any kind of water, mud, stuff along those lines. So if you're gonna keep it mostly dry, then maybe the Furitek makes sense. But if you are planning on getting wet at all and you like muddy, wet crawling, yeah, then it ends up being a no-brainer and you really need to go Hobbywing. During the swap, I looked at the weight. Is that good? Is that bad? During driving, it did seem like the truck did not perform as well. As I took 100 grams of weight off the front of the truck, it did seem like it wanted to tip over backwards more. It didn't seem like it wanted to crawl up the hills as well. Was that just my poor driving, or was that because I lost weight off the front of the truck? Of course, there's usually ways where you could get that weight back. Typically where a motor is not an ideal place for weight to be. And then the last thing that I would say might be a tuning thing that I need to work on, or might just be a fundamental issue with how the things are designed. I've always really appreciated Hobbywing's soft drag brake, or slow. It's like a slow apply drag brake. When you let off the throttle, if you're going fast and you let off the throttle, it doesn't just immediately lock up the motor. It slows it down and then sets that drag brake on. The Furitek seemed like it just hit hard. You know, it was an immediate lockup. And honestly, with some of what I like to drive, I don't necessarily like it. Is it okay? It's fine at the end of the day. You learn how to drive around it a little bit, but I just appreciate it feels more natural the way that the Hobbywing drag brake is. And then, of course, one of the most important things in any of these comparisons is the price. It's the money that's going to come out of our wallet for buying these things. Basic Hobbywing Fusion SE, looking it up on A-Main right now, $99.99. So $100 flat for this one. Now, of course, Hobbywing has multiple variations of the Fusion that go up to 120 and up to 150 after that. The Unity 10 from Furitek, on the other hand, $129.99. So it is that $30 more expensive than the Hobbywing. Pros and cons with it, you know, with the lightweight and all that kind of stuff. Is it worth that $30 extra premium to you? Hope this video that I've done here has been able to help you answer that. And so if you have any questions about these that I have not answered in this video, please leave them down in the video comments and I'll be happy to answer them there. If you are interested in buying either one of these, I'll leave a link to them in the video description so that you can get either the Unity or the Hobbywing Fusion. And if you're still curious about other crawler related stuff, I'll have a playlist that's going to pop up over here on your right, and I hope to see you in one of those videos. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.